Good evening and welcome to another round of the Dispatchers Roundtable. It is, oh man, it's December 22nd, 2020. We're just a few days away from Christmas, and it is going to be excellent. My watch is telling me that I need to breathe. Oh man, this is going to be one of those. So, welcome. Good evening again, as I said, and welcome everyone. This is going to be good. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight for this round, and I am just very happy to have all of you here. Let me throw something here in comments, and as always, a word from our sponsors. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that on there, and we will be right back. InDigital is on a mission to improve the 911 industry. Our goal is to create something better to go above and beyond the current standards. Our passion for creating the most advanced, well-designed solutions led to our position as an industry leader in next-gen core services. For the millions of calls processed over our emergency IP networks, to our Text for 911 solution, Texty, to our disaster recovery and backup solution, Mevo, it's easy to see we love what we do. For more information, check us out at www.indigital.net.
Rapid Deploy believes that every public safety agency, regardless of size, should have access to the data they need when it matters most. That's why, since 2016, our mission has been to reduce emergency response times and improve public safety. We are the industry's only integrated emergency response platform. Our web-based cloud platform includes analytics, mapping, dispatch, and mobile apps, purpose-built for 911 in the 21st century. Visit www.rapiddeploy.com to learn how we enable effective, efficient, data-driven emergency response.
If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show. All right. Welcome once again, and I am about to bring my guests up on the screen, and they are giving me hold on just one moment. All right, here we go. Bam. Welcome.
Hey, man.
What is going on, Mr. Nathan Lee? Welcome to the Dispatchers Roundtable. This is going to be round 14, and before we get started here, as always, we start out with a little music. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to the Dispatchers Roundtable. Oh yeah, once again, this is round 14 of the Dispatchers Roundtable, and we are going to be talking with Nathan Lee and Tanya Lee. She wasn't feeling all that great. She had to step off for a moment, but she might pop back in here. But Nathan is the CEO and president of the Denise Amber Lee Foundation. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Ricardo. Great to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yes.
We'll see how Tanya does. She doesn't have COVID, so let's just make sure everybody knows that she's doing okay. She's just having she's just a little under the weather. So, but she really wanted to come on. So we'll see how it goes.
All right. Excellent. Well, there's a lot of stuff that's going on, man. You know, we worked together last week. I was down there with all of you, and we were working on a bunch of different things. And one of the things is something that got launched today. We're looking at the speaker slicks, the promos that were posted on the foundation Facebook page. They're all on there now.
Yeah, we Emily, my daughter Emily, who also works for the foundation, uploaded all those pictures. And she was really, she was employee of the month today, just in the single day, because she was flying to Oregon to see her dad for Christmas, and she was still working, even though she's technically on vacation. But so shout out to Emily, but she, was able to get all those slicks uploaded. Shout out to you, Ricardo, because I know how much work that took for you to make all those, because you had actually already made them, but we we finalized our 3 diamond sponsors. So you had to go and add all them onto the slicks. And then in turn, I had to then upload them all to the website. I'm getting a glimpse of how much work it is to do one of these things. And but man, it just we're real excited and just so glad that you're on board with us and partnering with us to do this. So.
Man, it's an honor to be able to do it, and it has been a lot of fun. I mean, last week we were for everyone who's watching right now, just give you kind of a glimpse into that, and we might have mentioned this before too, but we're in the conference room of the main headquarters there for the foundation, and I'm sitting on this side, and Nathan is like right next to me, writing, whiteboarding everything on there, and we're all like taking notes and stuff, taking pictures and just going back and forth trying to put this all together and finalize a bunch of different things that were going on. I think between you and I, maybe more you, we're on the phone. There was a lot of conversations going on. We're like, hold on, I'll be right back. And go
Yeah.
come back. Yeah, and every time you came back, it was good news. So it was excellent.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work, as you know, obviously better than anybody. And but we've just been blown away with a couple things. And I know we're going to talk about kind of everything as we go through the episode. But we're just been blown away with the response from registrations already. We've had registration live for this free conference since December 4th, and I think we're pushing 600 registered already. So that's real exciting. We and the vendor sponsors that have come forward already, it's just blown me away. So I'll save that for a few minutes. But that was the fun part of the week, Ricardo, because every time I had to leave the room, I had to go out, and another vendor was calling me that I had been emailing, and we were just finalizing details. And because it's a new world for the vendors too, right? I mean, they're trying to understand how this is all working. All the virtual conferences that have been done have all been done a little different. So just having to make sure they understand how everything's going to work, but it's been good. So I'm excited to get to that part because we got some awesome partners to announce.
Yeah, for sure. So let's start out. So we've got some information here on our list. Let's look over. I mean, you kind of mentioned it already as well, but registration. So with registration, let's couple these here.
Sure.
Registration and the website. So, as always with everything that goes on in the technology wise, there are some glitches that happen, and there was a big thing that was also put out there. There's a refresh of the website that's coming up, and there's pieces that are added, and so that is going to be looking so good. Some of it is up there already for people to look at, and there's a few other pieces that are still getting uploaded. So it's going to be awesome with the registration. And also what I want to do here, because the way we had in the beginning before the stuff kind of switched over, was that you had the registration on there already. You're getting a lot of traffic going to the foundation's website, and we're going to be sharing the Crowdcast link. So for anybody who has not yet registered yet, make sure to do so, and you'll be able to you can jump in there. There's a lot of people already that are there that are saying hello. The conversations have already started, and kind of a roll call. Their name, maybe even an agency, and people are saying where they're out of it. And I think there's somebody there from India already too, right? That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think I know, talked to my friend Ryan Chambers. Many of you know Ryan. Mm-hmm. He was talking to somebody in New Zealand today, and so I think that we might be getting some folks from there, and it's just real exciting. I mean, just to give Ricardo, you handle that so gracefully, and the so the website, our DeniseAmberLee.org website has from day one been managed by my best friend Sean Lowry, who, he was on a Feel Good Friday episode. We've been friends since we were like 12, and he was my best man at Denise and I's wedding. He was at Tanya and I's wedding. So he does all that while managing his full-time job as a developer, a Microsoft developer. He helps us run our website. And so he's been helping, keep all the conference stuff updated. He's trained me how to do a lot of it, which I love. It's kind of fun. Ricardo, you know that world, and a lot more than I do. And we had a little bit of a glitch today where Sean, I'm just going to not get into tech speak because I don't even know if I fully understand it, but he had to go live with he's been working on a new site design for a few months now, and we were going to launch it at the first of the year. Well, he made an update on the site, and I think he did it from the wrong computer, and it accidentally updated the new site, and so then it kind of merged our old site and our new site, and it crashed it. So we had to like scramble at like 4 p.m. today. I'm walking through Target with Tanya looking for Christmas stuff for one of our kids, and Sean told me the site's down. I'm like, hold on, dude, I'm going live at 8 o'clock, and then we're going to be announcing all this stuff. And so luckily we were able to scramble. And the one funny thing is, luckily he drives a Tesla, and he was having to go to Fort Myers for one of his kids, and he had to stop and charge twice. So that gave him some time to pull out his laptop and work on it. But anyway, so if you go to deniseamberlee.org, the site there's some things that need to be updated. I'm just full disclosure. It's going to take us a few days to get everything back to normal. The conference stuff is all there. All the information's there. But the register link and the store link are going to be added hopefully later tonight. So that's why Ricardo's sharing the Crowdcast link now. But eventually all of you will be able to go to deniseamberlee.org and check out everything. But the speakers are all there now. All the vendor sponsors are there as well. But yeah, that's where we're at.
And speaking of the store, so I want to share this really quick here. Let me see if I can pull this up. And there we go, right there.
Halcyon doesn't want to get thrown in Facebook jail again. So yeah, Halcyon, you're not allowed to comment anymore on the on the feed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so this is really exciting. And we're real excited. My daughter Avery's mom, her and her husband Chad, do this for their job. They run a t-shirt company and all this, and so we partnered with them to create some Be the Difference apparel. As you see, we got shirts, we got sweatshirts, hoodies. We think the hoodies are going to be the most popular one just because of the time of the year. It's getting a little chilly for some of us. Even down here in Florida, it's getting a little chilly. I got the hoodie on right now. But I don't have a sample shirt yet. I'm expecting one hopefully right after Christmas. So I'll be able to show that off. But all this is going to support the Denise Amber Lee Foundation, of course. And, but it's just, we're hoping that everybody that registers, or we can get a whole lot of people that register to get at least something like a shirt or a hoodie, so that during the conference, February 9th, 10th, and 11th, that people will be able to wear it while they're attending the live conference. And we're going to try to, do a little contest or something on social media where people can post pictures of them at their computer watching the conference in their swag. We haven't decided what the giveaways are going to be yet, but we're hoping to do that. So make sure you get on there and order some of your apparel.
Excellent. And I put the link in there as well that goes to that site. So again, make sure to go there and check it out. One of the things I'm going to go off script here a little bit. And when I say script, I mean this like little list that we just have on a notepad.
That's it, man.
Yeah. So I want to ask you a question, but although everyone who's watching right now, I want to ask you the same thing. Well, kind of the same thing. So for those who are watching right now, those that are in the audience, what I want you to do in the comments is I want to know what the impact of Denise's story has been on you. And go ahead and put that in the comments. And Nathan, for you, what I want to know is what does this mean to you? This Be the Difference conference. What does it mean to you to be able to do this and put this out there to to everyone?
Well, I kind of put all my thoughts into writing. I kind of channeled my inner Ricardo and wanted to try to put my thoughts down on paper. And on the conference homepage on the website, I've done that. But just in a real quick snippet, I mean, 911, obviously, everybody watching this, a lot of you are 911 dispatchers, and this is the hardest job on the planet. I mean, there's no debating that. And I think, as hard as it is, the constant reminder of remembering why you do this job and why you took this job and that critical role that you play. And just reminding everybody that's doing this that you are the difference. You can be the difference in somebody's life. And a lot of the calls you're taking, I mean, I just watched some of these Facebook groups and just hear some of the funny stories, open mic live, listening to some of the funny stories that are told, and how most of the calls y'all are taking are not actual emergencies. But then when you do get that one, it's just so critically important to do the best job you can every single time. And I just, it's unfortunately in Denise's case, those of you that are familiar with it, that they made a choice not to be that difference in a positive way, and I want everybody watching this not to make that same mistake, because I know those people are still living with it, and I just, I just want you all to remember how important you are. So I'm just super thrilled and honored and humbled that the foundation has grown over the years to this point to where we can provide something like this, partnering with you, Ricardo, to help us handle all the heavy lifting with the tech side of things and the marketing side of things and the logos and everything. It's just been awesome to see Denise's legacy continue, and being able to watch some of the videos that some of the speakers have put together about how much Denise has impacted them has blown me away. So I'm just excited. I want it to be February already. I mean, it's going to be an exciting week. And I'm excited for January too, because we're going to be building up to the conference all month. We're going to be, doing a lot of promoting of all the speakers, which is a great lineup of speakers. We're just, but that's what it means to me, is just, Matt Grogan helped me coin the phrase. He actually coined it himself. Matt, who you all know is an instructor for the foundation, or many of you know. And we were sitting in a class one day, and he's like, you all have a choice, and you can either be the difference in somebody's life. And he started describing the ripple effect that had on me and my kids and my in-laws, and he just kind of left it with those dispatchers, like, be the difference. You are the difference. Be the difference. It's your choice. So that was powerful, man. So anyway, that's what it means. I hopefully got that all out the right way.
No, you did for sure. And I can see Matt, saying that as well. I can hear him.
We
I
call
can
it the
hear him.
sermon. Like, we call it the sermon part of class at the end, and then he goes and preaches a little bit, and it's just so powerful, because he then ties in him working the Mandalay Bay, and how they were the difference to, even though 59 people lost their lives, 21,000 went home.
Right.
And it's just so powerful just to remember that, because I don't know how everybody does this job. Like, I can't do it. Most of the public can't. And it's just, that reminder of why you do it is, I think, the main reason why I wanted to do something like this.
Perfect.
So
So I want to read some of the comments that are here. So Hank, our good buddy, Hank Hunt, he puts in here in the comments, open my eyes to how people can, whether through direct or indirect actions, can have an influence and effect on others' lives. Another one here: to pay attention to every detail to your callers and never assume anything. I'm a supervisor in Carroll County, Tennessee, and a victim's plea is one class every one of our dispatchers take. We have 14 dispatchers, and everyone has taken it. Our good friend Karen here says, heard Nathan speak the first year he was at conferences. I was it? I bought the cat of the story, came back, and met with each staff member to watch and talk about how important our job is every day, every call, and each interaction with our team. Never would I have imagined being able to share that with Nathan and call he and Tanya friends. Always remember her story and strive to be the difference every day. Someone's life is counting on you.
I think she meant CD.
The CD, okay.
Yeah,
I
there was
see
a
the cat
there was a
there.
DVD of it. The Dateline, when we were first starting to travel, we had copies of the Dateline episode, and
Oh, yes.
a lot of dispatchers would take that back to their agency and play it, and to tell Denise's story. So yeah, Karen was one of those.
Perfect. Gary says here, oh my God, Denise's story. Um, back to my true foundation of details matter, no matter how small. My coworkers will tell you I am OCD on details. I have a personal dispatch story about small details that started my OCD. There is not a lesson I teach now that I don't relate to Denise's story at some point. And yeah, Karen says, yes, CD.
Got your back, Karen.
Yeah, there you go.
She might have been, she's probably typing so fast. You can tell she enters CAD into either her phone or computer a lot because it auto corrected to CAD.
Aha.
So true dispatcher right there.
Right. Yeah, man, exactly. It's this is good. This is good
Yeah, it's
to
awesome,
see
guys.
this
Thank you.
in the comments, to see how um everyone has been impacted, and how all of this has come together, for this conference. Everything that you're doing with the foundation, I have been there a few times now, and just to sit in there and to see how all of you, how you are all running things, and just trying to figure stuff out. Sometimes I'm just sitting there thinking, man, there's way more to this than I ever thought that there would be.
Well, we're family, man.
Yeah.
My dad is the COO, and so you get to see that dynamic of how we work together, and how the father son comes out a lot, and then the coworkers comes out. But he's just such an integral part. And then obviously Sheila, up in South Carolina. Pretty much both times you've been down here, she's been visiting too, working out of the office, and she's just haven't met many people that have the passion for making this industry better than she does. And she's just full of amazing ideas. An in-person conference was one of her ideas, and I never thought something like that would be a reality. Um, and obviously with COVID, that had to get put on hold. We're going to be doing it in January of next year down in Myrtle Beach. But this was kind of the result of having to kind of switch gears and do it the new way. So, and then obviously Emily Webster, who's our admin. She's just such a rock star, and she's been kind of thrown to the fire and learning how this industry works. And so she's really learning learning the ropes there. And then yeah, man, it's been great. I mean, being able to just sit down and have conversations and work things out, throw things up on the whiteboard, and it's been a lot of fun. It's the hardest part is just staying on task and not going off on tangents, and you know how that goes. But we started talking about the Mandalorian a few times. We tried to avoid politics in every way possible. But yeah, it's been fun.
So I want to share something here really quick, because we're talking about the conference, how much all of this matters. I kind of want to look over at the speakers here really quick, and I'm not sure if she's on. I don't think, I didn't see her on here, but well, I'm gonna share it either way, because I want to ask you your thoughts behind this keynote speaker. Love me some Melanie Neal.
Oh yeah. Oh, Melanie. Yeah. So Melanie has been a good friend of mine for years, and Guilford Metro, where she's the director of, was one of my first stops early on in North Carolina. And it's actually where I met Ryan Chambers for the first time. Well, actually, we met in Orlando, but where I really got to know him for the first time. He was a former dispatcher there. But Melanie, just the one thing that I just think about when I think about Melanie is just how awesome of a leader she is. Like, people want to work for her. She cares about her people. She's not thinking about herself. She's always thinking about how she can make her agency better. And the number one goal is doing the best they can for the people of Greensboro, which is where they are in North Carolina. So for all of Guilford County. So Melanie is just a rock star to me, and I really, really respect her. She's kind of she's put me she's really kind of taken me under her wing a few times, and helped keep the foundation going in the right direction. So I'm just really honored that she was really surprised when I called her. She's like, "What, me? Why do you want me?" And I'm like, "That's a stupid question, Melanie. Why wouldn't I want you to be a keynote?" So I'm real excited to hear her presentation.
Yeah, it's going to be excellent. I met well, we met up really when I was doing the keynote over in North Carolina, and between Melanie and Christine and just everyone that was
Yeah,
there, they're awesome, and the
you are.
hospitality was amazing, and it was like home, man. They just made me feel at home, and we even hung out at a one of the 911 Ghost Washington conferences as well. So this is an excellent choice here.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to pull another one up here really quick. And let me close this one out.
And Jamie,
Now,
I'll just, while you're doing that, Ricardo, I'll just comment on Jamie's comment. Jamie, you're absolutely right. I believe doing the virtual conferences reaches more people like us coming from a small agency. We aren't able to attend a lot of classes, more like be able to travel out of the state to attend. Absolutely. I mean, that's the number one thing that I've noticed that's kind of been a silver lining with this whole, new normal. I hate to use that phrase, but that COVID has really opened is that a lot of these smaller agencies in some of your more rural areas, some of your more rural states are getting an opportunity to see training. And the other bonus to that is that when I'm doing these virtually, I'm sleeping in my own bed at night, which is really fantastic. So I've silver lining for me, that's been amazing too. But I mean, it's been overwhelming, doing these virtual classes. I mean, Ricardo, you saw the overwhelming response with the Dare to Be Great conferences you did. I mean, you were blown away. I don't think in a million years you thought that you were going to get the numbers that you were able to get, and the impact that you were able to make. I know it's not, you had a lot of people helping you and all that kind of stuff, but you really opened that door. But I'm just so glad that because those dispatchers in those places are just as important and are just as integral as the people in the major cities that have all the money, or wherever it is that has all the money. So Jamie, I'm glad you've been able to attend, and we've had a lot of folks from Carroll County, Tennessee on the classes recently. So I know we had a few on the class a couple weeks ago. So glad you all were able to be on there.
it has definitely been a really, really good thing. We got a legend.
I told you to put The Godfather of 911 on as his title.
I know. I should. Yeah.
Oh, Steve Sauter. Hopefully he watches this. Steve is very active on Facebook. Steve has 66 years in public safety. Yeah, there it is, right there on the thing. 66 years in public safety. I think if I remember his story correctly, he started on a fire truck when he was 14. But he's lived in the DC metro area, worked in the DC metro area his entire career. He was a director at Fairfax County for many, many years. But some of the stories that he has, but I'll tell you, the number one thing about Steve is, one, when he talks, it's like everybody wants to listen. I mean, he's just got that iconic, okay, let's sit down around a campfire and listen to some stories. And that's why I loved his title, A Walk with Steve, because I could totally see, just listen to him tell stories and talking about how important 911 is. But that's the number one thing that Steve is he's one of the biggest advocates for 911 out there. He's super, super involved even after retirement. He's the vice chair on the Maryland 911 Commission. He's has a seat on the 911 board for the state of Maryland. He's a Denise Amber Lee Foundation board member. But man, he's just such an advocate for this industry. So I'm so glad. I'm glad to call him my friend, but just also honored that he was able to participate in this as well.
When I first spoke with him, this was, so let's see, I just posted a teaser for episode 359. The episode that he was on was episode 80. and man, when Nathan talks about how Steve speaks, it's no joke. Like, he immediately, like, we jumped in. Like, I started out with him, in the beginning where you usually start, and then he just continued talking, and I'm sitting there. Like, if I was doing video at the time, that's all you would see is me just staring at him, and we did this over video too, and I'm just there like, how am I going to, what do I say? Because his story is so amazing. His very first shift in dispatch was on radios, and he's in DC doing this, and it's the day that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. ends up getting assassinated. And later on, a few hours later, is when the DC riots broke out. And this is all on day one. He's working. He's in dispatch for like days, working on radios. And I believe he told me that when he was there, and he went in, they said, "Can you work a radio?" He's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "All right, here's your pen and paper or pencil and paper or whatever, go to it. And that was it. There was nothing else.
Dude,
So,
to hear that, dispatch traffic I'd pay money for that. Like just to hear Steve on the radio, that would be so.
man, well, so then also,
Yeah.
not only that, but I saw, so it was a couple of years ago. He was at a 911 Goes to Washington conference. He was, I believe, the closing speaker, maybe it was. And he went up there. They called him up there. He had no notes, no nothing. He just walks up, says hello, and just blows away everyone for the time that he spoke. I mean, he had it all. I don't know if it was a speech that he had memorized or if he just spoke from the heart. I would say that he basically spoke from the heart.
Yep.
And that was it. And when he was done, everybody stood up, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
The other cool thing about Steve is he's a Maryland Terrapins fan. I got my Maryland hoodie on today, so just representing. That's where I'm from. So I've always had a special place in my heart for Steve, just because he's from my home state. But yeah, he was there when the DC Sniper was there. I can't remember the airline that crashed in the Potomac River, in the frozen Potomac. He was in the Coast Guard. I mean, it's just a great guy, and it doesn't surprise me at all if there was picketing on Washington about fixing 911 or improving 911, or he would be the first one in line. You know, that's always been Steve, is just trying to do everything he can, and he'll be doing that as long as he has the ability to. So, real excited.
Yeah. That's a big.
Yeah. Steve is going to be closing or doing the closing keynote on not the closing keynote, the opening keynote on day 3, which is the third day. And then and the conference. And the other notable part of the schedule is that I have Matt Grogan closing the conference, because this whole idea of be the difference, and he really kind of opened my eyes, in so many ways when he started helping me tell Denise's story, and just his insight into, how to inspire dispatchers and motivate was just awesome. So I'm excited that he's going to close it. And then Melanie will be doing the keynote on day 2. And then day 1, I wasn't going to do anything. But my wife, Tanya, made me. She's like, it's your conference. I'm like, so it's the foundation conference, but she's like, you got to do something, So I'm like, okay. It's kind of, Ricardo, you remember, I'm sure I told you that during the Dare to Be Great, that you need to do something. So I'm not going to speak for long on the first day. It's just like a little 30-minute keynote, but I'll just be getting the conference started. And, but I'm excited to hear Melanie and Steve, and then all the other presenters, because there's a whole bunch of awesome ones sprinkled in the middle.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to ask you next. So who are some of the other speakers that are going to be jumping in there for those who are watching and listening right now, and for those who come back, to watch the replay? Who are some of the speakers that are in there? There are some that people may know, and there are some that people may not know.
Yeah, and you're going to put me on the spot and go through the list. I can, I don't have the list in front of me because there's 23 of them, but I will do my best. Obviously, the Denise Amber Lee Foundation instructors are all going to be doing sessions. Travis DeVore, Tino DeCola, Matt Grogan, and Sheila is going to be doing a session as well. Sheila Hanna, and Josh. Sorry, Josh. I don't know how I forgot Josh. Josh Fonseca is going to be doing one. I always forget one. I knew you're gonna make me do this, dude. You put me on the spot. And then so they're all going to be doing different sessions on different topics. We try to change it up a little bit from those that spoke at the Dare to Be Great, just to make sure there's some new stuff on there. And then some new faces. We got Steve Martini, who's the director at Nashville Metro. He's an APCO instructor, great guy, super funny, but man, he's super full of information and just an awesome advocate for 911. We've got Natalie Duran, who's used to work for Miami-Dade Fire. She's going to get mad at me. It's not Miami Fire, it's Miami-Dade. And but she's going to be talking about TERT deployments, which I thought was a really awesome idea, because TERT teams are continuing to evolve and grow in different states, especially states that wouldn't really think you would need one. Like in Iowa, when they had the derecho, I think that's how you say it. Joe McCarville is going to be doing a session on that. Doug Showalter from Showalter and Company is going to be doing a session on I can't remember his session, not on the riots. I can't remember what his session's on because he just changed it too. But Tony Harrison, Leslie Whittam, Jeremy DeMar is a newcomer. He's the director at Mountain Valley Communications in New Jersey. Met Jeremy a long time ago when he worked for Rochester Communications up in Monroe County, up in New York. And then my awesome wife, Tanya, is going to be doing a session. Oh yeah, Goody. Goody, those of you that know Goody, Charles Goodwin up in Natick Police is going to be doing one. He's closing day one, I believe. But I'm real excited to see him because he was on one of our Feel Good Fridays. But there's some more that I'm not intentionally leaving off, but it's just a great lineup. Ricardo, you're going to be doing a session. Sarah Weston, Halcyon are going to be doing a session. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll be joining in and doing Imagine Listening. I actually did round 2 of the virtual Imagine Listening on Crowdcast last night, and it started out with a small group, and then a bunch of them ended up coming in, and we went through that. We actually went through an hour of just Imagine Listening, and then we got to open mic where we were sharing the last 30 minutes. So we went like an hour and a half, man. I think that's probably the first time that we did an hour's worth of just Imagine Listening, and but it was good because of the fact that it was still kind of a smaller group. We were able to get through everyone, and there were so many people that were talking. So it's going to be awesome to be able to do this at Be the Difference 2021. And like you said, it's just an excellent lineup. There are a lot of people who are going to be
Hank,
go ahead.
I don't know how I forgot Hank. He's in the comments. Hank's going to be doing one about animal magnetism. I think this one's going to be the most interesting one out of, I think, all of them. So real quick, funny story around that. Hank sent all of his information to Emily. She uploaded it all to our SharePoint so we could get everything ready to go. And we needed a session title. So I messaged him. He sent me the text and he's like, corny, huh? And it was like, have some animal magnetism. And I'm like, okay. And the session description was talking about Carey's law. And I'm just trying to correlate the two. And I kind of just had to fix it to meet the character requirements for the website. So I had to type it up and change a couple sentences. Didn't change it. I just had to reword some things. And I sent it back and he's like, Nate, I'm not talking about Carey's law. So I don't blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, but Hank, that's what I didn't try to change your session. That's just what you sent me. And he sent me the wrong session description. So, so it's about how, he actually talks about the correlation between, a dog on the side of the road that's all mangy and dirty. And, you could easily just drive by and, let it be, maybe somebody else will help them. But, stopping and helping that dog and going through all the work that it may take to get that dog healed up and cleaned up and vaccinated and all that kind of stuff. Not only did you impact that dog, but think about the lives that dog's now going to impact because now it's getting adopted by a family. And those kids of that family now have a dog for life and a companion. It's just thinking about, that correlation with how dispatch works in 911, I thought was brilliant. So I'm really excited to hear Hank's session. And then and a couple other ones I just remember. Captain Haight, who's a board member for the foundation, is going to be, hi Sarah, he's going to be doing a session on his thesis that he did about reclassification. He's a captain with the Idaho State Police, one of the biggest advocates for 911 out there, and he's a cop. So that's really awesome. Great guy. And then Chris Thompson, who is the director, chief of communications at St. Mary's County, Maryland, who used to be at Charles County, Maryland. I met him many years ago. Super good friend of mine. But man, he's an awesome instructor too. He's full of knowledge. So yeah, man. I mean, I think that's everybody. And
Leslie Whittam is going to be there as well. Leslie Whittam is
Leslie,
for Nina. And man, I have to hand it to you. I think you pretty much got all of them. I was just going to have you mention the ones that people might not have seen or heard yet, and you went all out. So good work.
I have to give a little bit. So Tanya, those of you that are just joining or just joined late, Tanya was supposed to be here. She's not feeling super well tonight. So she's actually laying on the floor in the other room. She's okay. She's just relaxing a little bit, but she was whispering names to me as we were going through that. So thank you.
Yeah,
See, she's
that's
still participating in this, even though she's not on camera.
well done, my friend.
It's teamwork right there.
Yes. So moving on from like the promo slicks, the speakers. Now I did put the link in there to the album, so you can go ahead and click that through the comments and check out every single one of the slicks that are there for all of the speakers. They've got their times, the date, the titles, the descriptions, everything that is on there. Yeah, make sure to check that out. And but there was something else that that we wanted to talk about that you'd put out there, and I believe this was also kind of a the brainchild of Matt as well.
It was. Yeah, so Matt, just again, Matt. Those of not have not met Matt. He's just one of those people that has just got the greatest heart in the world, and really again just wants to give back to dispatch any way he can. And he's for those that don't know Matt, he's a dispatcher for Las Vegas Fire and Rescue. He used to work for DuCom or DuPage County Public Safety Communications, which is outside of Chicago, but he moved to Vegas because he didn't sweat enough in Chicago, is what he always says. And but he worked in Mandalay Bay shooting. He teaches the victims plea class with me and a couple other classes for the foundation. But he had this awesome idea to do an award for this conference. And so he sent us in a little kind of a blurb about what he was envisioning for this Be the Difference. And he really just wanted to recognize and have dispatchers submit nominations for coworkers that have been the difference and or are the difference and just make such a huge impact in 911 in their community. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be giving 3 awards. We're going to be doing one each day. We're getting the help from our diamond sponsors for those 3 days. And we're going to be giving away the award. And what's amazing, what the other cool part of the award is, and I'm not in front of it right now, it's in my other office on the other side of the wall here, but Mike Aurora, who owns Aurora Design, he makes challenge coin holders and other flags and other awesome things. You can see the I am 911 thing above Ricardo's right ear there. And he made one with the foundation logo for all my challenge coins. And he just made one for Tracy Eldridge, that winner she shared for her new podcast that she does. But he's going to be making the awards. And so a dispatcher on a side gig for fun is going to be making the awards. And so it's kind of cool to keep all that stuff, full circle in the dispatch world. So I'm excited about that too, because any way we can recognize and promote and just, I don't like to say reward, but just recognizing the hard work that people do in this job doesn't happen enough. So I'm excited that we get to do that.
Now the information for all of that is going to be going out here fairly quickly, right?
Yeah, so the website, the page is up on the website. The form that it'll be like a file fillable form that people can enter their nominations and either copy and paste whatever they typed up in Word for this nomination, they can copy and paste it into that, and it will send it to us. That should be finished by tonight, maybe tomorrow. So hopefully we'll make another announcement on Facebook and our other social media platforms when that is official. But we got to get those nominations in as soon as possible. So we're trying to. It was ready to go as of 9 o'clock this morning, but then when the world fell apart and the site stopped working, we had to redo it. So just bear with us. But yeah, we're excited about it.
Yeah, when you guys first started talking about this was one of the things that I thought, light bulb. Yeah, exactly. This is going to be a good thing, and it's going to be exciting to really hear about all of the the nominations and everything that comes up. I'm hoping that when you get some of these, that I'm there working with all of you, so I can hear about some of this stuff. Because
well, you're going to help us pick the winner, my friend. So it's going to be. Oh yeah, man, I'm putting you on the spot. It's going to be. So Ricardo does accept PayPal, Venmo, all those things if you want to try to buy his vote. But no, it's going to be hard to pick just 3. That's the only downside. This doing your scholarship. It's so hard because you want to give it to everybody, and so we're real excited to get the nominations. we're going to maybe look for something to give all the people that were nominated. It won't be obviously a big like award or anything, but we'll maybe still be able to give them something for the awesome work they do. But yeah, get your nominations ready. Keep checking the DeniseAmberly.org website, and there'll be a little, when you click on the conference homepage, there'll be a little link on the right-hand side for award, and you'll be able to go there and submit.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I guess being on the other end of it this time, because whenever I've done the scholarship, and I've told you this before, I've told a lot of people this, I don't want to be the one to choose,
Yeah,
because like you said, I would want to give it to everyone.
me
So
either.
I
Yeah.
have a voting committee, and they're the ones who choose, and then they just tell me later on, we got a winner, we got a recipient. So I'm like, all right, that'll be good. And then, but if it goes into a tie, I jump in. Um,
We
actually,
have,
that came once, and I ended up bringing somebody else in because I was like, no.
that's a good idea. Because this literally was a brainchild like earlier this week. So we were kind of throwing this thing together as quick as possible just because it was such a good idea. And I didn't want to wait till maybe the next one that we do. But yeah, maybe we'll work on that. We're probably going to end up having some sort of committee that's going to have to pick this, because you're right. I don't want to be the one that has to do it. But if I need to step in and be a tiebreaker, I might do that. But maybe we'll get some of our speakers involved. I know a few of them are on here. It sounds like such a Sarah Weston thing to do, Halcyon. Get Hank in there.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about the sponsors, because there's still sponsors that are coming in, but it felt like last week it was just going, coming in. I think there were a lot of moments when we were in there that it was almost, like I said, almost after every call, we were all huzzah, like,
Well, the first trip you came down, it was a totally different vibe, because we didn't know what to expect. It was such a leap of faith. This was our first ever one. Vendors, who knows, like they're all still trying to get in front of customers. They got some awesome stuff to do. They still have awesome products and awesome things and services they can provide, but we're not doing conferences right now. So we weren't sure what the response was going to be, if the vendors were going to be able to participate. We were pleasantly surprised, because this trip came down, and I'm so humbled. We've got some great supporters of the foundation, already, on an annual basis, and all of them stepped up and are at least some level of sponsor for this conference. And then we have some new ones as well. So I'm excited to announce our diamonds, which is, they're going to be, they're going to each have their own day of sponsorship. But you can see on the bottom of the slick there, Motorola Solutions. So we're real excited. Motorola has given us a grant to the Denise Amberly Foundation, I think, for the last 6 years. And this is really the first time we've worked with Motorola directly, other than through their foundation. So this is really exciting for us. So Maggie and Flynn and everybody at Motorola that helped make this happen, we're just really appreciative. NICE Public Safety. So Patrick and Dirk and all the awesome people at NICE they're nice people. You know what I'm saying, Ricardo? They're nice people over there at NICE. And but it's a great name for a company this time of year too. They all got to be on the NICE list. That's stupid. Nobody laughed at that. That wasn't funny. I mean, my wife didn't even laugh, and she's sitting right. She laughs at everything I say. But NICE has sponsored a lot of our quality assurance workshops over the last few years, and put them on free for 911 centers all over the country. And so we're excited that they've come on board as a diamond. And then, of course, just forever grateful to Evans. Evans Consoles. Obviously, my wife Tanya works for Evans Care, who's going to be a gold sponsor as well. But just so thankful to Evans and their commitment that they've had to us for over the last few years. Just a great company that really believes in supporting this industry. They work in a lot of Motorola, NICE and Evans. They all have other markets that they work in. Not just public safety. But I've just been blown away by all three companies. Their commitment to public safety and making it. They understand the importance of it. So that's real exciting. So The diamonds, so those are our diamonds. We have one platinum as of now. We're hoping to get finalized a couple other ones. Those I can't mention any names, but I should, just to put them on the spot. But in digital, obviously, those of you that watch this show and all the other shows on the Code 7 podcast network know in digital very well. And so, Ricardo, thank you for I think you had a connection there that made that happen. So thanks for that. And so Lori and Larry and everybody at In Digital, thank you. And then our three golds, we have concept seating. I'm actually sitting in a concept seating chair that they sent me, which was an amazing gift. So y'all can see the concept. They're a supporter of the foundation. And so Jeff and everybody at Concept, thank you. And then we have you represented on your hat right there, 9-1 Wonder Women. I said it right, Sarah. I've been practicing.
Well
The Oneaters. No, I'm just kidding. So Sarah has just started a nonprofit, and we are excited that she's able to come on board. If you haven't seen some of the awesome things that they're doing, you need to check it out. So Sarah, just you and Halcyon and everybody that's part of that group, just keep doing what you're doing. It was exciting to meet you last week for the first time. I feel like we've been friends forever, but we just met for the first time in person last week. But her and Tanya are like twins when it comes to the amount of energy and happiness that they exude. Like, they are just two of the most positive, happy, laughy people I've ever met in my life. So it was a lot of laughing. And then Evans Care. Obviously, those of you, if you have dirty consoles, because I know you do, Evans Care. I know I know a gal that can hook you up there. And then I got to read my list of the silvers because there's quite a few of them. But we have Rapid SOS, Frontline, Public Safety Solutions, and Agency 360, Public Safety Group, Tony Harrison at the Public Safety Group, friend of the show, Guardian Tracking, awesome guys, Leon and everybody at Guardian Tracking. Thank you so much. Rave Mobile. I've known Todd Pyatt, their CEO, since the early days of Rave Mobile, back before even Rapid SOS existed. They've done some amazing things. So Todd, thank you so much. And then Word Systems, we just got word yesterday that Word Systems is going to be a sponsor as well. So Ben at Frontline, Karen and everybody, Michael Martin, everybody at Rapid SOS, and Matthew, and everybody at Agency 360, we're just real excited. So if you are a vendor watching this and you want to be a part of this, we would be honored to have you join this, because we love the fact that we can make this conference free. And if it wasn't for the sponsors, we wouldn't be able to do that. So we're really, really excited for all the support that we've received.
Definitely a tier 1 conference. I love it.
Sure, man.
Very, very nice.
Well, I think that list of vendors says it already. So, we're really excited, again, that, we've already got 600 plus registered already. I think it's right at 600. It might be right under, I think. We had the website was a little iffy today, so I think some people might have tried to register. If you haven't registered yet, and the other thing I want to say real quick, Ricardo, and I've just been thinking of this, there is no reason not to register your people. Like, if you're a director and you have 15 or 50 employees, register them, because they're all going to get access to all the recordings, even if they can't attend live if they're working in the chair. But at least it's something you can say, listen, we registered you for this conference, attend the sessions. We will provide certificates to those that need Con Ed training if we are able to confirm that they registered and attended the sessions. So, register your people, and let's knock it out of the park and connect everybody again, because, already in the comments, that if you go to the page, if you go to Crowdcast and register, you can start talking, throw a chat in there, sound off where you're from, let us know where you're going to be watching from. And it's live. Right, Ricardo? I mean, the only delay is how long it takes them to type in the keyboard.
Right.
So it's gonna be live interaction the days of the conference, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's going to be up there forever. I mean, we're not going to be taking it down. So you can register your people, and they're going to be able to go back and see it whenever they want, however many times they want. They can, clip moments out of there, and to be able to keep that for themselves. If there's a quote or if there's something else that comes up, they're able to do that too. So there's going to be a lot that ends up coming with this, and I'm just again, I'm just honored to be able to be a part of this in any way possible. It's gonna be really good. One of the last things here, because we're coming up on about an hour now. It feels like it flew by. Um,
Hmm.
One of the things we wanted to talk about as well, which was also kind of a big piece of what we're doing tonight on the roundtable, and this is for all of you as well who are watching, listening, and for those who come back to watch the replay, because I want to see this in the comments as well. So, for those who are watching right now, 2020 was a shit year. However, there was a lot of good that did come out of it as well. There were some good things. And personally, I'm grateful and thankful for a lot of those good things that came out of 2020. So for all of you who are watching right now, I want to see in the comments what were some things that were good that came out of this year. I know we still got a couple weeks before the new year, but let's share a little bit of that right now because I know that this year opened up my eyes to a lot of different things and some things that I never thought I would see, but I am thankful for that because, you throw out the vampires. So it's been good. It's been really good in so many different ways. It has been good. So how about you, Nathan? What are some of the good things that actually came out of this year?
Well, I hate to say this because we got to talk about the positive. We've got to talk about the positive, and the COVID, the pandemic, has been there's been a lot of silver lining things for me because Tanya had COVID. We found out just a few weeks ago. She back in March she had it. Thanks to, I think it was Indianapolis Airport. When she got, this was when everything shut down, but luckily she's okay. Everything's fine. But it was, for me, it was the family time. It was being able to finally be home and to, get to spend as much time with my kids. I mean, I'm getting in the glory years. Not that there were not glory years before, but, the boys are starting, Noah started high school this year. Adam's going to be starting next year. 14 and 13 is a tough age. So I'm glad that their dad was home as much as possible. And it's also been hard because Tanya's two girls that still live in Oregon. It's been tough to get them back and forth because of everything. But I think being able to connect with the new connections that I've made, even though we're not in person, Ricardo, your and I's friendship has really blossomed over the last year. I mean, you and I have really, we've worked and collaborated on a lot of different things. We've been friends for years, but we've really, we've finally been able to get to spend more time together and work on some stuff that we've been hoping to do for a long time.
Yeah.
But I think it was Jamie earlier talking about being able to connect with so many new people in parts of the country that might not have I've been able to connect with because they weren't able to leave their state or go to a conference or be able to attend the training. So that world, the new normal with virtual training, I think is an awesome opportunity for dispatchers all over the country. Also an awesome opportunity for organizations like the Foundation and NINA and APCO and Public Safety Group that, now maybe we can offer these other things so that we don't have trainers on the road 35 weeks a year. And also just, getting to spend, me and Tanya, we've been married a little over 2 years now, and it was nice to finally get to spend time with her at home. We just kind of, it was just in and out, packing a suitcase, dumping it out, putting in, and so that's been really awesome for me.
That's awesome, man. It is really good that there have been a lot of those things that have come out. There's for me personally a lot of course family, being able to spend time with family and everything, but also on top of that, a lot of the projects that I wanted to do, I was finally able to do it. Some of them on the fly, Dare to Be Great being one of them, but doing a lot of different creative things, and it's thinking outside the box. And I think a lot of us started doing the same thing. As you were talking, there's a lot of in-person stuff got canceled. We figured out a way to do it where we could still connect, still bring people together. In person is always going to be better because you want to see people. you know I'm used to seeing people and embracing someone, giving a hug or whatever, or even a fist bump or an elbow tap, whichever. But to be there in front, is always good. But also like this, we are still making these connections, and I think in a way, it came out more because people were they were wanting that connection. The
Yep.
people really needed that, and it was good. Looking at some of the comments here, Ryan said the same thing. As you, a lot more time at home and with family. Jamie slowing down, not being on the go all the time.
Yep.
Sarah, my friend Sarah here, Sarah Clark, their center out of Kalamazoo County Consolidated Dispatch Authority, held our first blood drive, or first food drive, rather. The first blood drive. I don't know. Hey, maybe they'll do that too. But their first food drive and collected 3,012 pounds of food for Kalamazoo Loaves and Fishes, which is a local food bank.
Dude,
And
you've been to Kalamazoo, right?
oh yeah, man. Dude, that area is my old stomping grounds. Allegan right there, that's the county that I grew up in, that I dispatched for, and then it's Kalamazoo, Kent, Ottawa, and Van Buren. That area is my place.
Dude, there are some awesome breweries in Kalamazoo. It's like the brewery capital of the world right there. I never even knew. I just stopped there to. I think Ryan Chambers, who's on here, we were driving through there one time, and then we did a QA class in that area, and oh man, it's a cool place. I love Kalamazoo. It's fun to say too.
It is a very cool place, and yeah, I mean the state of Michigan is basically all like craft brewing and stuff. So
From here, yeah. Kalamazoo's like down here, right? Yeah.
I like that you did that. That is funny. Is Sarah Clark, if you're watching, that was good, right?
You always endear yourself to somebody from Michigan if you do that. I learned that the first trip I went up there. But
yeah, I was more Southwest Michigan. Yeah. Ryan says we had great sushi.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Ryan and I, if anybody ever needs to know where a good sushi place is, just ask Ryan and I, because we've pretty much been everywhere, it feels like. But we've had some not good sushi too. That might actually be the more valuable information to tell you where not to go. But yeah.
Sarah says amazing, spot on.
Hank, DJ's making him go to a conference. Oh, Hank, you're kind of a little bit of a handful sometimes.
I love Hank. Yeah. Hank is awesome. That dude's awesome. And Kelsey here says Michigan, in quotes, nothing to do but brew.
That should go on a shirt. It probably is.
Oh man, that is excellent. It's good to see a lot of this stuff here. So like Gary, he says, you all found a better way to train the masses. We thank you for that.
And Gary, man, you're awesome too, Gary. I loved your decorations for Christmas. I thought that was awesome. Your house decorations. I have a lot to making up to do for next year. I've already got I have one string of lights across the front of my house. That's it. Like our roof, the top is too tall, and my wife wouldn't let me rent a boom lift to do the whole roof, but maybe next year. But I got some ideas. So Gary, it's on.
So like the Grinch took everything, and that was the last of it that was there.
Dude, so I went to Home Depot and I went a little crazy because I got, other than training and doing other stuff, like I got a lot more time. So I'm, when the kids were at school, I went a little crazy at Home Depot and I bought like 400 feet of lights, and I wanted to do a whole roof and all kinds of stuff. And
like Clark Griswold style.
It was, well, if I tried to balance a ladder on the incline of the roof, it would have been Clark Griswold. It might have been some interesting things happening, but I wanted to, I don't know. We live on a busy road, so I wanted to kind of, everybody needs happiness. Right. I know it makes Tanya happy every time we drive by lights. I think it's kind of a nice positive thing. Everybody, people, I feel like people went a little crazier this year than they normally would. So.
I think I left last week at a good time because I might have been on the ladder there with you, hanging up lights.
Yeah, I tried to get Ryan to help me. Ryan was down a couple weeks before that, and Ryan didn't want anything to do with it. He has a couple ladder story issues. He's not allowed to climb ladders anymore. But yeah, we'll have to. I'm not gonna embarrass him or anything because he's already making comments about my beard. So I'm the one on the camera right now and could really have a lot of fun, but I won't.
Oh, that's funny. Well, okay, so before I get your he says hell no. He just yelled hell no. Before I get your closing thoughts and everything else, I want to read off some names really quick because I also had posted to everyone that tonight on the Dispatchers Roundtable, I was going to name the winners of the patches. So I had posted on Facebook on the podcast page for people to react, share, and comment done for these patches. So I want to do this really quick while I have all of you on. I'm just going to read these names and then you contact me on the podcast page. So here we go. I'm going to go through this really quick. The first one is Emily Whitaker. And I'm sorry if some of your names, if I butcher them, I apologize, but I'm doing my best. The next one here is Kaylee Amelia. And then Mike Amadon, like a dinosaur or something. Sorry. Vanessa Barnes.
I know Vanessa.
Oh, Kelly Sims. And then Troy, is it Carmack?
Hmm.
All right, here we go.
I know
Continuing
Troy.
on. Tina Delator. Heather Robinson. Shar Miller. Jolie Chase. Toby Ortman. And then I'm trying to read my scribbling here. This is so bad. I think it's Christy Kirsch. And then I think it's a Brandon Tucker. A Michael McCausland. Amy Lavelle. Angie Radcliffe. I feel like I'm in school reading off names and stuff.
Is it Amy Lovell or Lavelle?
Maybe it's Lovell. I don't know. It's Lovell.
Oh.
I know who you are. I'm pronouncing your last name wrong. I just know it.
Well, every Amy Lovell or Lavelle watching, you get a patch. So just mention. I'm just joking.
Whoa.
I'm just joking.
Let's see. Erica Waters. Ashley Hutchinson. Exactly, Gary. Mallory Parker. And last but not least, Erica Walsh. There it is.
Awesome.
There are the names of the patch winners. That was 20. And tomorrow I'll be doing the one for Instagram. So thank you all very much for being patient for that part right there. And who knows, maybe I'll do another one. So as we go into the wrap up of this excellent round, we wanted to visit the Be the Difference conference, everything that is going to be going on from there: registration, website, store, shirts, slicks, all of it, sponsors the award, and what we are grateful and thankful for. And that was one of the biggest things here as well, is to talk about that piece of it, because this was a crap year. But even though it was a crap year, there was a lot of good things that happened during that time. So Nathan, what are your closing thoughts as we go into the wrap up of this round? And, where can people find information about not only the conference, but of course, everywhere on social media?
Well, we actually forgot. I was going to mention Center County, or I'm assuming it's Center. It's spelled RE in Pennsylvania. Won our Christmas decorating award. So they had like 120 something votes or likes on their picture. So congrats to them. We've reached out to them. We're excited. Mike's going to build them whatever their logo is for their center. We're going to build them a nice sign to hang in their comm center for winning that award. So, but I think, Ricardo, just my closing thoughts. We're entering an awesome time of year, but also it's always difficult, especially for the folks that are generally watching this, because a lot of you are going to be working on Christmas and working when everybody else is celebrating. And but somebody has to be there to answer our calls when we burn our hands on turkey or ham or light our grill on fire or something. So, but just thank you all for what you do, and just thanks for making the sacrifices you make to keep everybody safe for pretty much little or no appreciation or thanks shown to you. You guys are really the thankless, this one of the most thankless professions out there. So just thank you all so much. And we're excited again to put the free conference, the free Be the Difference conference on February 9th through the 11th. So go to deniseamberlee.org and register. You can also go if you've already registered for the Dare to Be Greats on Crowdcast. I'm sure there's a way that you can search on Crowdcast, but we're real excited. Go onto the store, check out some of the swag that you can order, and if you know any of the sponsors, just thank them for participating, because if it wasn't for them, again, they're helping support the conference. So that's pretty much it. Just Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody, and everybody stay safe, and hopefully we will all be in person somewhere soon.
Perfect, man. Thank you so much for being on. For those who are watching and listening, make sure to tune in on December 29th. It's going to be the Dispatchers Roundtable round 15, and I will be going on there with Ann Camaro and Melissa Alterio, and we are going to be talking about leadership, culture, and resiliency. And I think this is going to be a good way to wrap up the Dispatchers Roundtable for the year, going into the new year, how we're going to be talking about all the things that we've dealt with, and how these three main topics also were able to kind of mold where we're at right now, and what we've learned, and what we can expect, or what we want, some goals going into 2021. So again, that's going to be December 29th, and that'll be 8 p.m. Eastern time. That'll be on Facebook, Twitter, as well as YouTube. Again, that's going to be with Ann Camaro, Melissa Alterio, and myself on leadership, culture, and resiliency. So make sure to check that out. Also, one quick thing to mention here, one of the things that we're going to be doing as well is every virtual conference that Within the Trenches Media ends up working and partnering with people with, we are going to be also adding a separate channel to our Trenches community, which is on Discord right now. So I just threw the link in there. Make sure to check that out, because there's going to be a lot more discussion. If you are attending these virtual events and you want to continue that connection and that conversation, you can head over there to the Trenches, and there are a lot of focused conversations that we're going to be having going on with not only the virtual events, but a lot of different topics that are going on in 911. So I invite you to that. Thank you to the sponsors for sponsoring this show that is sponsored by InDigital as well as Rapid Deploy. If you have any comments, questions, or you want to be a guest on the show, whether it be the panel for the Dispatcher Roundtable or the flagship show Within the Trenches, that'll be WTTpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, it's WTTpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter. That is @91podcast. You can like us on Facebook. That is facebook.com/Within the Trenches podcast. This show will always be free, but if you're looking for any bonus content, you can check us out on patreon.com/WTT podcast. And the flagship show can be heard 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. Have a good one, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.